Here we are.
Get him, son.
Here we are. Oh, you know what I mean? You know what I mean? Oh, man. Oh, Coleman. What's up, y'all? The CC show. Better late than never. Better late than never. Here we are. What's good, fam? Appreciate y'all pulling up, checking in with us.
The broadcaster that never sleeps.
Never sleeps. So, I've had an interesting day. Nothing has gone the way it was supposed to go, but everything has been blessed. So let's make it happen, man. I'm so grateful to be grinding. Let's go. Let's get it. What's up, fam? Coach been sitting up waiting on me. He wanted to cuss me out.
I actually had my life together this week.
Yeah, he had his life together this week. He ain't even in the car. Nothing. Look, Coach all set up and everything.
I ain't sweating nothing.
Coach ready. He's ready to go today. And here I am showing up late. Coach ready to sing and everything. And here I am showing up late. But better than never, damn it. Wednesday coming. Here we go. What's up, Coach?
I was listening to some Flage music.
What do you think about what you think about Big Four?
Man, I actually enjoy her music. I hope if anybody not checking for it, go on her page, YouTube, check it out, man.
And don't judge me because I'm playing Big Four right. I'm playing Big Four right after Glorilla. Judge me if you want to. I don't care. Both of them bang. Both of them bangers. I don't care what y'all think. I like Gloria. I like Glorious Hallelujah. So I'm here for it, Coach. This is a weird time in women's hoops, man. How are you feeling?
It is. I am so damn happy that the WNBA is put to bed for a little bit. I was struggling. Toward the end, chat. I ain't gonna lie to you. I was struggling.
Really?
I was struggling. Yeah.
Why you were struggling? Why? What was the struggle?
Just how we started, the bad taste, the culture vultures, and just things like that. So I think we got to get somebody out of the chat. They on the wrong frequency.
They're asking about soccer. Who is better, Messi or Ronaldo? I have no idea. I understand them both to be very, very great players. I
will go Ronaldo.
You said you like Ronaldo?
It's two different eras though. Really?
Yeah, it's like I know them both to be very great, but I don't follow soccer enough to even really have an opinion about who was the better out of those two.
Right, exactly. So last time on the CC show,
we were on
October 16th, and it was before the Wednesday game played in the Target Center. Minnesota Lynx 77, New York Liberty 80 on the top of that. That game was played at Target Center, and then that's where New York Liberty took a 2-1 lead.
Coach, I'm gonna make an executive decision, and I'm gonna fast forward because I gotta ask you this: controversy or not, foul or not? Come on, Coach, let's get to it. I'm putting you on the hot seat. Foul or not?
Last game,
foul or not? Last game. I'm fast forwarding. Last game, foul or not, and that starts the conversation on the hot seat. Coach Coleman didn't know I was going to put him on the hot seat. He probably wish I would have showed up on time. Now he like, here you come with all this madness. Fast forward.
Here's the thing. Coach. I'm gonna call that wasn't a foul, but also I'm gonna call that you left too many points out there and the coaching, and you could have utilized your bench and you had a very talented rookie on the bench that could have been a contributor down. And so to me, I'm not going to say it's the foul. I'm going to say it's you coach too much. You got in your own way as a coach. That's where I'm going with it.
What a perspective. You coached too much. What the heck is coached too much?
Like, let the players. If the players are flowing and they doing their thing, let them play. It's too.
Let the players cook.
If you watch the game, Cheryl Reeves likes to control just a little too much for me. And then when it happens, you sometimes quench your own momentum because you want to run the system. You got talented players. If they bubble the lead to that, let them stay in that flow. You only call a timeout, but I think she's too rigid in her system where they're professional players for a reason. They're smart, they're intelligent, and I'm not to say that as a pun, but so to me, you got to know when to step in and know when to step back because those are adults out there playing. And so I think it's just a little bit too much control over that. The difference with New York, Brondello, she had no choice but your stars gonna step up or they don't. So at the end of the day, almost similar, identical things. You don't want to move the chess piece too much when you get burnt. You want to move it enough where it's effective, and you let the players decide the game. So to me, I feel like Reeves got too much into herself, proving a point, and you overcoach sometimes. Been there and done that, and I don't want to, I remember one game. Does that
mean Reeves tried to make it about her? Did she tried to make her the reason that they won?
I mean, sometimes when you emotional about some things that take you get blind. What you call hysterical blindness, and you forget the bigger picture, and you forget to lean on the trust that you have. You have high level players that can execute. They know what they're doing. Go court knew what she's doing. Fee knew what she's doing. McBride knew what she's doing. So there may be times where you need to go off the rigid thing and just put something in there that gets a McBride open, not this particular offense. Put a set play in. You got, whoever your main scorers, you say you don't have star players, but whoever your main scorers, put a set in for McBride, put a set in for Fee. You see what I'm saying? Mix it up. I'm not saying she didn't, but if you look at it, everything looks almost pretty boring and the same, right? And everything that they did, right, to get them there, right?
Exactly. Exactly.
But I think there's a different way of coaches that have to come into the league to relate and to take the league to the next level. You can't recycle these coaches because now coaches are going to have personalities. It's just a different paradigm shift here happening really fast, like you say, lightning in the bottle. So all that came with foul. I don't really care about the foul. I care about how did we allow to get there as a team.
Because you where I'm at with it. I don't even care about the foul. Who cares about the foul?
And that coach had lost. How did we allow that to come to that? That's the first thing you're gonna look at. Especially when you lost at home when you had a lead. Whose fault is that? The refs or yours?
Oh, no, you got to own that. It's especially at your crib. You have to own that at your house.
You lost the lead.
You are the problem here. You are definitely the problem here.
So, yes, as the show, welcome, Rob Meter, welcome to the network, to the family. But as he stated, do we feel like WNBA was trying to tailor make it for New York? Yes, you can get into that. But we go back to your point, Minnesota had many opportunities to close it out at home because most of the games were, nail biters, toe clippers, everything, you was popping 2 bags of popcorn, drinking three bottles of soda,
I'm here for it.
I had to have me 2 boxes of Raisin Nuts. It was so good,
not the Raisin Nuts, coach. Not the Raisin Nuts.
Yeah, it half healthy, half bad, kind of thing.
You can feel good about it. Like it's raisins in here.
Yeah, right. I can feel good about the chocolate.
I'm having some raisins right now. I'm having some raisins. Exactly.
So we fast forward to that, and that leads us to the 80.
No, I just had to fast forward to that part. We can really go back and talk about the games. I just had to know.
Yeah. No. I knew it was going to come. So you see, I was ready because I knew that question was going to come today. So.
Oh yeah, I had to get right to it. I needed to know where you stand.
Like, here's the thing: where I stand is, how did we allow it to come to that point?
Exactly.
To that call. So
what do you say to your team after that in the locker room?
Oh man, I appreciate the privilege to be your coach this year. And thank you for allowing me the experience. Right after the game, it's just thanking them for their effort and experience. And I really, for me, I'm not addressing on what we missed and what we do wrong. Like, thank you for allowing me to experience this with you. And and we will visit. During exit interviews. Yeah, just so everybody doesn't get to go there. Experience that. So the main thing, you just want to thank them. They played through injuries, they played through family situations, personal situations all season long. You got to come off the break from the Olympics and then pick back up, and that's not an easy task. So you just acknowledge the staff, thanking everybody and the athletic trainers and and all the other admin that were supportive that made it possible. There's no other way you can end. I'm not going to point out. For me, every coach is different. What is the point of pointing out what we could have did better when only 2 teams can get to the championship and we were one of those 2?
Exactly. So New York, after all of these years, finally got it done. Finally got it done. What are you thinking about that? Give me 1 second, y'all.
New York making it. It's bittersweet in the way they got there. I'd rather see them do it against the Aces than meet, but they met in the semis, and that was the elimination. So, great point. I just wish they could have beat the Aces in the championship than the semis. I felt it would have been more poetic justice, but this is what the season and the basketball guys provided for us this year, and the powers that may be. So we live with it. So Friday, October 18th game was New York Liberty 80 and Minnesota Lynx 82. Another nip and tuck. It came down to free throws and things of that nature. That was game 4, and that tied the series up 2-2, and that was in Target Center. Now, here's the thing. Minnesota lost by 3 points in the Target Center on that earlier that Wednesday, so they could have closed it out at home in Minnesota. 2 straight games and had opportunities. That's how close the games were. And then we know it came down to Sunday's game, October 20th, 2024. Minnesota Lynx 62, New York Liberty 67. And that was like the score reminds me like a very intense state playoff championship. But, it was pro basketball. But they slowed it down and put it in with the range because everyone, you got a little nervousness, a little tension, what have you, and everything. But overall, the players that needed to step up and needed to make plays in that championship game, to me, showed up enough. And it was what you expected. Also, the WNBA, that game 5 was the highest finals ratings in over 2 decades. Okay. So the game drew a peak audience of 3.3 million viewers. Particularly, and this is impressive. This is an impressive figure, everybody, because that it was scheduled at the same time. It was scheduled at the same time as both Game 6, both the Game 6 of the NLC National League Championship Series between Los Angeles Laos and New York Mets, and then Sunday night football between the New York Jets and the Pittsburgh Steelers, and no matter how long they stayed, but what they recorded was 3.3 million in viewers. So that is very interesting right there. And so before Seth comes back, we'll be talking about what is perceived to be the winning points of the WNBA season and some of the people who are the losers. Everybody can't win. There's some losers. We're not talking about teams or awards. We're talking about the change and the culture change and the financial influx and the change that is happening right before our eyes in the WNBA. And it started with two rookies that ushered in this new era of marketing and in this new era of competition in the WNBA, and that's Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese. Those are the rookies that ushered in. They were the tools or the icons or the faces or the narrative, whether you like it or not, that brought us watching intensely. And then some of us only showed up because of those names and then learned about other talents that were out there. And there became new fans of the sport because of two rookies that just had their following. But there was so much, always been a plethora of talent in the WNBA. So the new media rights deal alone is worth, everybody, is worth a reported $200 million a year. Okay. More than three, check this out, more than three times the current package that they have right now. Talk about the WNBA. Avery Way, you back. Then three times in the current package. Sponsors are flocking to both the league and the individual teams. The expansion, listen to this. I don't know if anybody knows, but the expansion fee for Portland is reported $125 million. $125 million, and there's another team still to come. So with that expansion, here we go. So with that being said, guess what? We got a CBA, right? Bargaining agreement coming up, and players are still weighing their options, and they are expected to opt out because of all of this new money and the increase of money coming in. They're expected to opt out before the November 1st deadline for both the WNBA Players Association and the league. If either side does so, the CBA would expire at the end of the season. So we know that they're going to opt out. Now it's just a matter of negotiations for that year. What's that look like? But there's always a possibility of stop work until you come to a temporal agreement, but we'll see how that works out. In the earliest session at 12 p.m., that was Bree with Rob Media. It was very good due to the Seth Networks. It's 12 p.m. Eastern time. Make sure you go ahead and do the rewatch game. It was very good stuff. It's talking about all Gamecocks and a few other sports, but most of that live Bree is Gamecock talk. So very great show. I listened into it today. But now let's go to this. For Auntie comes back. Anybody? Here we go. I have the WNBA trivia. Put it in your chat if you know it. Who was the WNBA champions for? Put it in the chat. 2009, WNBA champion for 2010, WNBA championship champion for 2011, and WNBA champion for 2012. Anybody know that? So list me the teams that won in 2009, 2010, 2011, and 2012. Give you about a few minutes. Put it in your chat. Put it in the chat. And see what you say.
My apologies, fam. My apologies.
Yeah, right now we pause for a trivia on who were the WNBA champions 2009, 2010, 2011, and 2012. We pause for a trivia.
2009, 2010, 2011, 2012.
And then we also talked about how the fee for expansion fee was a reported $125 million for Portland.
That's not bad though.
Yeah,
I mean, they bringing money into the league. That definitely they bring money into the league.
That was an expansion fee. All right, so 2009, it was Phoenix Mercury defeated Indiana Fever 3-2. Diana Taurasi was the Finals MVP. In 2010 was Seattle Storm defeated Atlanta Dream 3-0. Laura Jackson was the Finals MVP. 2011, Minnesota Lynx, Simone Augustus was the Finals MVP. They defeated the Dream 3-0. So the Dream, people forget how the Dream has championship appearance experience. People forget that. For sure. And then we have 2012. Catch this. Indiana Fever defeated Minnesota Lynx 3-1. Tamika Catchings was the Finals MVP. And so far in between, I think some people forgot about it. So we see there. All right. So let's talk about that game, the Friday, October 18th game that was played in Target Center where it was 80-82. Did anybody see Mystics part ways? Marcus, what's up? Yes, we're aware of that. Mystics parts ways with the coach and GM. I think you have no choice. Fired, as Ante would say, fired. You have no choice when you have this change happening and you got to jump on this financial wave. You got to put some things in place that are marketable from coach and making some moves and relatable and connecting to players. So, and he didn't, should have made it to the playoffs with the talent you had if you had a better coach. For sure. If you had a better coach, should have made it to the playoffs. So, yes, Marcus, JTV, I agree. And I'm so glad they stepped up and did that. So, moving right along, we're going to talk about some things in this WNBA season. What happened? We had some winners just in general because when you have a growth, you have things that take place. And again, we mentioned earlier in the show, the growth was due to the incoming playing competition and history that Angel Reese and Caitlin Clark had between each other. So new fans. There were some fans that rooted for Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese when they were in college and followed them to Indiana and Chicago, respectfully. But once some of them, we're talking about true basketball fans right now, this is what we're addressing. But once some of them, right, realized there was more than just those two players in the league, more than just one or two players, they started to tune in. because you had your Fee Collier, you had your Asia Wilson, okay? You had your Breanna Stewart, okay? And the list goes on. And the list goes on. You had so many great players. You had your Sabrina Eskew. And so people started to tune in, not just because of two players. We said, oh, wait a minute. There's a buffet of talent. Oh, there's basketball being played well at the high level. And it's not just the NBA, but it's the WNBA. So those new fans, we're glad you joined us in moving this forward, the women's sports forward, and advocating and letting the world know that it is some great basketball going on during this WNBA season. Who else were winners this season? Sponsors who got in early. I mean, what are you talking about? Not bandwagon sponsors, but we're talking about companies such as American Express, State Farm, and Pepsi. And let's not forget the OGs of sponsorship, Gatorade and Nike. These companies got in early and they rode the wave. They saw the potential decades ago and stuck with it rather than waiting to follow the herd, waiting for the epic wave of economic surplus. They believed and invested in women's sports. Especially State Farm. You're good at State Farms, right? Oh, all state, right? It's freeways, especially State Farm. Insurance, right? You need insurance. How about that? So you need insurance. So that was a winner this season. Also, we have winners. How about the country of Germany? Germany. New York's first title would not have been possible without what? Without the play of what? Leonie Fibich. They call her Clarkonomics, something like that. Yeah, oh, okay. Clarkonomics. That's different. New York's, you had Leonie Fibich on the Liberty, who had 13 points, 7 rebounds, and 2 steals. Or Sabali Bali, as Coach Rowe would say, Sabali Bali, in that championship game. She had 13 points, 7 rebounds, and she had a 71% field goal percentage. Oh, good question, Bree Wayne. When is the parade in New York? Got to check that. Anybody in the chat, drop that in there. I did not check that yet. They had to make sure New York win this time. Okay, say it with your chest, Bree Wayne. Say it with your chest. So, in this, those were 2 young stars who played in the summer at the Paris Olympics. And so here we may find this opens up even more floodgates for international players. And does this put American players, which are majority black and brown, does that put their roster spots in danger if they venture out into more international players coming into the WNBA? Just saying, I just call them like I see it or what it look like, or stop, listen, what's that sound? Everybody look what's going down. Just that thing. What's going on? What's going on? So sometimes you got to stop and observe and see what the transition is bringing. I don't know. Somebody tell me, am I overanalyzing it, or is this possibilities, or are these possible avenues that the WNBA will look to bring in diversity? Also, the winners of this season that got the season to where it is and where rosters are where it is because we go back to when free agency came in. And guess where it started with? Free agency was never considered that big of a deal in the NBA until a few years ago. Why? Candace Parker leaving LA for her hometown was free agency of Chicago. And leading the Sky to a title in one of her 2 seasons, that started the trend of free agency. Welcome back, welcome back, welcome back.
barely back, but we're gonna finish this thing. Let's rock it out.
So we were talking.
My apologies to the chat. This is wild, but I'm on location, so let's finish it up.
Okay, so what we were talking about, what were the winners of the season? And the winners was the new fans. Okay, and we already went through this, but we'll go through it quickly. The new fans. Yes, Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese were following college, and then the people, the college fans. We're talking about basketball fans right now, because I'll get to the other type of fans on the loser side. But once these basketball fans of Caitlin and Angel Reese got to the league, they discovered more about, honestly, he said the rest were the winners. They got that extra bag, that ka-ching, that cash out. They discovered or build relationships with the Asia Wilsons, the car, right? Mm-hmm. You got Khalid. You have a slew of talent that some people that weren't into WNBA. And so the new fans that were not politically connected. Then we talk about another winner of the season was the early sponsors like American Express, State Farm, and Pepsi. And let's not forget the OGs like Gatorade and Nike that saw the potential decades ago, that they invested in women's sports before it got to this platform. Absolutely. And then just went bagging. So there was winners. And then we talked about Germany, how Somali Mali and Fibich were on the winning Liberty in their contribution. And so the question is, and it was brought up in an earlier live today, your 12 p.m. live, is this opening up the floodgates for more international players and making it tougher for our Black and brown women in America to earn roster spots? Are we seeing that paradigm shift happen right before our eyes? And so I said, stop, look, listen, what's that sound? Does everybody see what's going down?
Stop. Look, I ain't got time. I don't got time for you. I don't got time for you.
You're not going to go stop, drop, got them down, open up, shout. Oh, okay.
Stop. Look, listen. It's one of them old school songs.
Yeah. And then now we're talking about, and then you came in, Auntie, on this free agency. The winner this year, free agency. But Candace Parker opened that up because it really wasn't a thing until what? The deal with Candace Parker leaving LA for what? Chicago.
Right.
Or free agency. Leading a Sky to a title. One of her 2 seasons. So then the Liberty made a what? A hard play in free agency for who? Breanna Stewart.
I mean, that was the best. That was the move they had to make. That was the move they had to make. You had to counter Candace
because she had 7.
New York can't go into this. New York couldn't go into this next chapter or this next next chapter, this next episode of the WNBA without having the championship. They've been around too long. The market is too big.
So they got Bree and Vandersloot.
Yeah, Vandersloot wasn't that's nothing to write home about.
No, but I'm just saying that was the free agency transaction for New York.
Mm-hmm.
From Seattle to New York. So was Sue Bird in office when that took place?
That I don't remember. I would have to look that one up. I don't remember where Sue was at that time.
Bree Wade says, feels like this Stewie's last championship. She looks no rougher in Father Time with the Kenny knees catching up. Not the Jet, Kenny the Jet.
That's a great point though. Like, how much longer does Stewie hang around with 3 championships? She brought one to the crib. She's got Unrivaled going now. She's, being a mother, so how much longer is she in the game? That's a great point. I think that's a great point. I mean, it's nothing left for Stewie to have to there's nothing left for Stewie to have to prove. So we could be seeing the end of Stewie here soon for sure.
So here's the thing. BBG 2K got it right this week. Hey y'all, don't we need to have these coaches in place before the expansion draft? Makes me kind of nervous.
Oh, very nervous.
Well, I mean, definitely, you want to have a concentrated staff in place that has a focus and know what kind of talent you want to manage and who you protected and why you protected them. So definitely a great point. I agree with you, but some management they don't know what they're doing. Okay. So now we're going to talk about losers of this year season. The losers. And I'm not talking about teams. We're talking about the losers.
Losers.
Loser. Remember that? Losers. Loser. Sides is next. No, Sides playoff appearance saved. Should be her last year of her contract, actually.
Yeah, I think it saved her. I didn't think it was gonna save her, but I think she saved herself.
I think she's done after the season in Indiana because they did make a change with COO and general manager. So that COO or GM could decide now to fire him before, but I think it's better diplomacy or etiquettes to let the season play out and say, hey, we're going in a different direction because of what Sides has contributed to the franchise. So you don't have to do that to me, which is, make it make sense. Right. So
make it make sense.
Right. I'm not, and on the Sides thing, I don't think she's a bad coach, and I don't think she's a great coach. I think she's a
my thing with calling for Sides, but saying that Sides was going to get fired had nothing to do with Sides. I just felt like coming in, Sides is not going to be the coach that lasts for Caitlin in Indiana. And so as soon as they drafted Caitlin, they ultimately fired Sides to me, right? And so maybe not this season, maybe next season, but Sides was able to surprisingly get a buy-in from the team and kind of turn some corners that I didn't think she would be able to turn.
Obviously she showed she ain't no punk.
No, she's not a
closed doors.
No, she's not a punk. And what she did was she decided to go ahead and go out on her, do it her way. So that's what I appreciated the most is that she was like, you know what? If I'm going out, I'll do it in my own way. And so Caitlin, you're gonna do what I'm asking you to do until I can't ask you to do it anymore. Until there's somebody else you're asking you to do that. And so by getting that buy-in and having her be more of a playmaker, less of a logo 3 shooter, they were able to get into the playoffs.
I mean, you talking about a coach. And I will go to Caitlin Clark, and I watched the body language. She didn't even. It was her last year there. Her coach probably knew she was retiring. Her head coach was trying to give her a hug, thank her, and she wouldn't even break. I mean, so that speaks volume. I don't think that's always the head coach. I think that's also the personality of a player too. You can't say it was always a coach because a coach can make an effort, and if someone comes from a background or, because Coach Bluter might have coached the way she did because she knew she was on her way out.
Yes, this is true.
So the reason why
she knew she was retiring anyway.
So she was kind of free spirited in certain areas, I ain't messing with it because I know I'm done.
And I wonder if Bluter would have stayed around a little bit longer if she wasn't so tired from the Caitlin hype. That's tiring, whether it's about you or not. That's 2 years.
Right. Man, let's talk about that real quick before we go to losers. I bet as a coach, that probably wore her out.
That is. You got questions coming from everywhere. You trying to protect your player. You trying to make sure the narrative is correct. You trying to coach your team. It's a lot of stuff you got going on. So I think in a way, like, and I wonder if if she takes some time off and comes back, or you see her pop up somewhere else, like after she just the hoopla of all of that is over with.
I could see her coaching like high school and local where she lives at. Mm-hmm. High school at a high level locally, because she's that just type of community oriented type of coach. You know what I mean? Because she just wants to enjoy being. But I would be shocked to see her at a high level. Maybe we see her some commentating there and there, some cameo appearances. But I would be shocked. I would be shocked to see her in a high profile. But you never know.
That makes sense.
You never know. So the losers, the other new fans. Mm-hmm. The only upside to the season ending is we no longer have to hear or see the classless fans who use Caitlyn as an excuse to direct racist and homophobic abuse at other players. The W is not should not be desperate enough that it needs these type of fans in his fan base. And league officials now have 6 months, well, I'm gonna say 4.5, put you on notice, to figure out a way to weed them out. And when we say weed, to stand on business, to draw the boundaries. So those are the losers, those who try to weaponize a player's name in the name of a hitting.
They were winners. I mean, they're a loser. They're a loser bunch, but they won this season. They won this season. I wouldn't count them as losers. They made it very difficult to be a fan of the WNBA. I had to fight every day to be a fan. Right?
All my life, I had to fight.
To be able to enjoy the product that was on the floor, you had to get through all of the chit chats. You had to get through all of the social media stuff. You had to get through all of the extra commentation. You had to get through all of these new reporters coming in and speaking on what WNBA basketball should be or what it is, or who trying to define who was the star and all of that kind of stuff. Is just like, I feel like they won something. The WNBA didn't stand on business. They didn't stand on business and say that's not what we about. Matter of fact, the leader of the leader said, "What y'all whining for? We making money." that was her attitude was cha-ching. The cash apps is hitting, baby. What are you talking about? And all money ain't good money. And this is this is what her employees, for lack of a better word, are saying back to her, like, yeah, we're making money, but it doesn't feel good. And that's when you got to pay attention. When Alyssa Thomas, when Asia Wilson, when Brianna Stewart, when these old heads that's been around the league, that been carrying this league, are saying, hey, this doesn't feel good. Then you have to be willing to look at how you're doing business and who you're partnering with and what you are accepting as the investments and the support for the actual product that you're putting on the floor. And so all money ain't good money. And so who are you getting in bed with? Some of these teams may have made a deal with the devil.
Yeah. That's real talk. The devil don't live here. So we got Marcus Jensen. Size is an okay, mediocre coach. Definitely needs improvement. Bree Wayne is expressing her inner fall. Leaves changing color.
Yes. Mother Nature is playing in her crayon box for sure right now.
But it's still damn hot.
Damn hot.
And then Bree Wayne goes to football.
Georgia was hooping Texas today. Football. What? Is Georgia playing Texas today? When? What football are you watching right now? Bree Wayne?
Yeah, what you watching? Classic throwback? So let's talk about, next on the loser list is owners who still think they can operate on the cheap. Okay. A clear message has been sent across the league, and players are paying attention to which owners are investing in their teams, like facilities, things of that nature, and which aren't. The gap between the have and have-nots in the WNBA is going to get wider if all owners don't meet the moment.
Well, so to me, I want to get to the ownership, but as long as the NBA is still a part owner of multiple teams, you don't get to that. You don't have an owners meeting where each owner is equally invested into their team. The NBA still owns like what, 4 or 5 teams still. So they're like, yeah, y'all do what y'all want to, but we straight with how we making it because they're not invested. I don't think at the same their interest level isn't in the same spot as some of these other owners. And so for some people, this was a tax write-off and a good place to be able to kind of dump some money. And then, for others, it was like, yo, I really want to be able to build and have this piece and be a part of this women's movement here. So I think it's still kind of like just figuring out the ownership. I like the ownership in Las Vegas. I would be interested in looking at more football teams coming in as owners because they spend a little bit different and they seem to invest a little bit different. And the football owners seem to work from a different strategy than NBA owners. And so they work NFL strategies owners looking at Las Vegas seem that they don't mind investing. They don't mind investing for the long haul. And I guess when you've been around 150 years, you see the long term. You see the benefit in the long term. WNBA is 20 years old. I think the NBA is about 75. They're not even 80 yet. So, they just getting into their golden age. So it's still a very young league.
Living my life like it's golden.
Yeah, absolutely. As some of these owners and some of these players and stuff get older and they start to think differently and see different challenges, then I think they'll make some different decisions about how they do business and what's important and more of like an entire, what I call a whole care ownership, where you're thinking about the player from the first time that you draft them until the last time that they come to wave and get the accolades for bobblehead night or whatever. So
yeah, but
you got to be thinking about and I don't know that these teams think about being in a relationship with these players like that. Like the Sparks, y'all treated Candace Parker crazy as hell.
Yeah.
Wouldn't it be
they dropped the ball. They dropped that.
Okay. How do you invite Candace back to LA now? How do you have her be a Spark now? How do you have her be an ambassador for what she did there? She won a championship there.
Right. And y'all just the treat they
didn't
do well.
How do you bring Chelsea Gray back into that fold now? Like, so you got to start thinking about long term. Like, it ain't just what you can get out of these players while they're here playing for you. It's what is their brand and what is their marketability and what is their connection and their legacy going to be after they're done playing basketball.
Can people still respect them?
Yeah, heck yeah. It's too many living legends walking around that we're talking about that aren't a part of the WNBA in no way, shape, or form. And that's sad to me. Like somewhere Tweety Nolan is out here.
Right.
Not in the WNBA, not giving that knowledge, not giving that support, and Tweety someplace coaching, I believe, but I'm just saying like not.
Yeah, I think so. If you're not mistaken, she in the gym. They in the gym.
That's the other thing. Ballers stay in the gym.
Yeah.
And so those are the players. You got the Carolyn Pecks and you got Chennai and them. And I'm not knocking them, but there's so many more that they could be having be a part of this thing and helping grow this thing in the right way. So just looking to see how we gonna do that.
That's what's up. So we're gonna jump in this chat real quick. High vibrations. What's up, y'all? Bree Wayne was talking about college.
You getting at high vibrations? This game.
Bree Wayne was talking about college game. Shake my head. It was already played. She was watching it in the gym. Rasheen Beats. Salute to Sess and Coach Coleman.
What up?
What up? And she is Bree Wayne was good. So we talked about that ownership and how they still need that final piece of local owners to see that improvement. Is that where we going? Per se,
yes,
sounds like
I'm not
that final piece.
I don't think the owners have bought in that it's a viable investment.
Well, you said some are still owned by NBA until some groups step in and claim that team. Then your facility.
How much you said it costs to claim one now? You ran the price tag. You told me a price tag earlier to own something in this league. How much is it?
So the price tag for Portland as expansion fee was $125 million.
Do you? I don't know. Do you know how that breaks out? Where that goes? Who gets it?
It goes to the league.
And they do what with it?
That's the part where
amongst all of us. Do they get raises? Like 100. So you got 125 million coming in from Portland. You got the new TV deal.
And then
DJ Carrington makes $61,000 this year.
And then you got another team coming in 2026.
And I don't know how much the Valks had to pay to get here because I didn't listen for that price tag. But I mean, you made a pretty penny. Like you said, we making money. But now how you spread the wealth? How do you spread the wealth? How do you take care of this league? How do you grow this league?
Now we talking about HBO. What you doing? I'm so young and old that I remember when HBO was like that button in the mid-teens, 13, 14 number on this brown box that was plugged into the outlet, and that was your remote, a cable remote control.
Oh, yeah, my remote control had a cord on it when I first started.
Yeah.
I remember. Listen, I had cable. Cable
didn't stay on long though.
I had cable in Florida, California, where you had to go switch from A to B to get the rest of the channel. You had to get up with your remote control and everything. You still had to get up, go out there, hit that switch to go from 2 to 40 to go from 42 to the rest of it.
Yes.
Now we streaming whatever we want. Game change. Game change. Gotta meet the fans where they are too, coach. And I think that's a great point. Like the WNBA dropped the bag in being able to connect with the fans where we are this year. They made it very, very difficult to be able to see the game. They made it. Don't do me high vibrations because you're too young to remember a remote control. don't do auntie like that. Don't do me like that. I remember before remote controls, we was just turning the knob. Matter of fact, coach, I remember when having a 19-inch screen was a big TV. You got a 19-inch? You got 19 inch? I remember when the 19-inch was a big screen, okay? But being able to make it easy for the fans, to be able to enjoy.
People don't realize 30-inch was like the 50-inch today.
Who you trying to? Who you over there with? Mr. Drummond and them 32 inches. Oh, you fancy, ain't you?
Right.
Oh, you got color? Man, I had a black and white.
Because all the black and white TVs was small screen.
But real small. You watching Victor Newman on that? Like it's like this. TV screen wasn't big as this live screen right now. As big as this vertical. Half of that vertical. You were watching in black and white. You might have a little fuzz back there if your antenna wasn't clear enough. You wasn't sure if they moving.
Right, and then you get the new color TV. You got the cable TV sitting on the floor. Got the bubble screen. And it's like it's an injury waiting to happen. Bust your head.
Zenith. You had a good Zenith TV. You know what I'm talking about? Good Zenith.
Oh my goodness! Jump in this chat.
Listen, let me tell you something. The first VCR I ever seen came in two pieces. Came in two parts. It came in two parts. My grandfather brought it back. My grandfather got it. He was in the army, so he always got a lot of stuff out of the PX and that kind of stuff that was international. So he was a big tech guy. So yeah, the first VCR was two pieces, and the tape went on one side, and there's a bunch of numbers you can push on the other side. Yeah, remote record ain't your thing, Rewind. You don't have to. You know what? Rewind. The more and more you let me know, we ain't for real cool. I thought we were very mad.
We talk about Russia means the sky raise prices, but aren't doing anything to excite the fans. They could learn from the Liberty and Aces.
Yeah, to just raise the prices like that, and then you need to make the playoffs. Just like we get more money while it's hot. Get the money while it's hot. They like us right now. Right. Get the money.
So talk while we talking about cable, we could talk about how HBO how this cable TV giant through the years has not yet committed to Hard Knocks WNBA and what to do and what do we have to do to get them there.
We don't want them to.
Right. While we're at it now, the Unrivaled has signed a TV deal with TNT to broadcast their new 303.
I don't want them to.
Can the Dub get his own? Can the Dub get his own version of inside the WNBA?
Sure they can. Sure they can. Right here it says Talk Sports. I'm happy to do
it. So you feel like we shouldn't even try to pursue that HBO if they're not interested in
this
that?
This is the thing that kills me about women's stuff. They always want to do it like how a man do it.
Do it how it fits your game, how it fits your situation.
Yeah, do it where meet the fans where we at. Half the fans of the WNBA didn't want to pay for all of the streaming sites that you had the game's on. You got to pay for 19 streaming sites. But you have your own YouTube, you have your own app, you have your own everything. Like, own it. And that's the thing I think that pisses me off the most about women's sports is like, own it. You don't need them to own it. You don't need that to own it. We can own it. We can drive it. We can pay for it. We can say where we want to see it, how we want to see it.
So is that just being lazy?
I think it's not being lazy. It's following the status quo, and I think that's why we haven't seen the success that we can see. I think that people don't realize that, number one, the fan base for women's basketball is a lot different than men's basketball.
For sure.
The way that we consume and crave it is different than the way men do. And I think it may be because men watch a lot of different sports. So it's football season now. It's baseball season now. It's basketball season now. It comes in seasons. Women's college basketball, we want to see that all year. People just spent all summer, all off season, watching every game they could over again because they just couldn't get enough of it. And so to me, it's being able to take the step back and say, what is this thing that we have, and how do we best get it to the people that are craving it, right? And it's not by just putting it in that same old box in the bowl and shooting it out there. So to me, it's like, yo, get your ownership, leverage your app, have the people pay you directly to see your product. FIBA's doing a great job putting stuff up on YouTube. I mean, they can have a Patreon. I don't care what they get. Quit trying to do it the way everybody else did it and try something different.
I think that's a very great point, valid point. If you see what works for them may not work for you because there's a whole totally different demographics of marketing and things of that nature. So to me, I find that lazy because you got to do a little bit more legwork sometimes to figure out, add a little bit just what works for this market. So, but then you go back to status quo. So is status quo lazy, or is it convenient? Instead of the L word, convenient.
You know what it is, Coach? We always get the hand-me-downs. We always get our big brother shirt. We always get our big brother, whatever, our big brother, sister. We don't never get to go to the store and pick out our own outfit. Stop with
But we are what we allow.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Stop with the hand-me-downs. And this is why I'm excited that people like Nneka Ogwumike want to negotiate, want to lead this league, want to do something different. I'm so excited to see what Unrivaled does, right? Because they're taking a different approach. They're like, you know what, we all gonna meet up in Miami and we're gonna see who the best. And we're gonna figure out a way to give people an average salary of $300,000. Like, they're trying a different approach. And like I think it was Angel said on her podcast, you may see people just opting out of the WNBA to just go to Unrivaled and go international, or go Unrivaled or go Athletes Unlimited or whatever, right? So
because they won't be bothered with the bull spit.
Exactly. So it's going to be interesting. It's going to be interesting. Like, the WNBA is under pressure right now, and I don't know if they realize that they're under pressure, but Unrivaled is pressure. Athletes Unlimited is pressure. China is pressure. EuroLeague is pressure, and it's a lot of talent out here.
They could water down your league very quick if you don't come correct.
Very, 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 very quickly. So so
stepped up to get beat down. You know what I mean? Stepped up to get beat down.
Here you go, old school. Okay, here you go. Way back Wednesday, Mama said knock you out. So that.
So you got picks today this day?
You shows that?
Do y'all got bets talks?
Yeah, we got bets coming up. We got bets coming up. MJ is halfway through those picks. It's a weird day for us. Just hang in here with us. We working on one computer, on another computer around the city, but we making it happen. We got bet. The bets coming up. You see my background, they changed. I had to spin my hat around, man. I'm doing this. I don't even know if I'm lit up on the screen. Getting all this done, okay? So here's these leftovers. Y'all enjoy. Have fun. Yeah, that's crazy. So yeah, we got Let's Talk's bets coming up. We got Timeout. Let's Talk with Juju coming up later.
Yeah. Jay Snacks.
Yeah, Jay Snacks is in the building. We got a lot of picks coming up. A lot of NBA basketball on tonight. Warriors on tonight. So I'm gonna be in front of somebody's camera, whether I'm in front of my regular camera or whatever camera I can get in front of. We talking hoops today, y'all.
We talking hoops.
I will not be stopped.
Hoops. No, not practice. Hoops.
Not practice hoops.
Before we go, we just want to acknowledge some of these chats. This is I remember playing video games to the VCR as a kid. Marcus JTV.
That's what I'm talking about. Remember the video game when you had to slide, when you had to put the little box on the back of the TV?
Box on it, exactly, the TV.
Go to the computer to go to the thing.
They said
we be in the lounge. We be in the lounge. High vibrations. Pull up.
BBG said BBG2K said they fire spoon, killing excitement, shake my head, high vibrations. Why do your lives look like this? Are you streaming like Oh yeah, we in the new. They we vertical now. You're bringing the views. We went from 100 views to 3,000. Miss D said maybe Netflix should do something with the WNBA. I mean,
we're gonna see what Amazon does. Amazon got the deal. Let's see what Amazon does. I see that Netflix does have NBA games for Christmas Day. Is that NBA games? It might be NFL games, but they do have some games on Christmas Day, Netflix specifically. So that's gonna be fun to see. I think it's NFL. So Netflix is sports.
But Netflix is streaming sports.
Yeah, they jumping into NFL. I think they got Christmas Day games.
Okay. Yeah, that was crazy. Many streaming sites to watch. Just it was like tiring. Like, which one do I got to cancel this one in 7 days? I'm tired. I'm tired of all the comparisons of WNBA. The women's game is different. See, Smoke, what's good, my friend? Makes no sense to have all the apps that people pay for, and the WNBA still lost 40 mil. They want to copy the NBA, which is the wrong way to do it because it's two different games. Even though they both play basketball, I feel as women basketball fans love peer competition. Facts. Grasshopper Plus, WNBA is subsidized. Some of it is until all the rest of the teams are locally owned, then it won't be. Mm-hmm. That's the thing. It won't be. They're paying back their loans, so you got to get all those. Get your facts. Coach coming with brand new WNBA like here these leftovers for y'all to enjoy. Have some fun, Y'all still being allowed. You know it. We still being allowed. All right. So the winner of this season, the ultimate winner, is the New York Liberty. They earned it. They play hard. They play some close games. Champions figure out ways to win games. Go back to our conversation earlier. It's not the foul. It is what got us to that point where it came down to the play. So that's where I go as a coach because, again, I go back to the pattern. How many times did Lynx have a substantial lead and didn't do what they need to do to close it out? But also, that's a sign of a great team in New York Liberty. On the other side, when you have a lead, finish them. So
don't complain about the cooking at my house and you didn't cook right at your house. Don't complain about what I'm serving over here.
So I'm going to let Coach Rowe puff his chest out. 007. Congratulations to you. New York Liberty.
Double Rowe got him one.
I'm talking to Coach Rowe.
That what Rowe got him.
Talking to Coach Rowe. Now, Coach Rowe, we're going to have to get on here and talk about your teams that could possibly sneak up on South Carolina. I listened to that, Coach Rowe, and it was like a fart almost slipped out. It hurt me so bad. I got gas. It's like you squeezing for that one. You know what I mean?
Hey, man, he's like, I'm going to find one.
All right, so here we go.
Fun. I am also on the lookout for McDowell too. The McDowell announcement on the 24th. And
that's tomorrow, right? That's tomorrow.
Yeah, that will be Ashton Watkins news on the 25th. So stay tuned.
That's gonna be. And Friday is Watkins, and see how that moves forward, and hope everything works out for the better for Watkins.
We also got LSU exhibition we live for tomorrow night. Let's see what Big Four working with.
Who they play?
I don't even care. I just want to see Big Four. They play all cupcakes. I don't know. I can't name it.
Cupcake University. Yeah. All right. So listen. Here we go. We got one. Who recorded the first assist ever in WNBA history?
Oh, I have no idea. Jennifer Azzi? No idea. I'm just throwing the name out there. I have no idea.
Jamila Wideman.
Oh, really?
Yeah, first assist
name I remember
ever.
Too.
Yeah, you remember that name?
Yeah.
Seth, C-Smoke got a question for you. I heard you speaking about Unrivaled. Who will be the last few players to join, and what are the reports I've been seeing today about Unrivaled trying to throw Clark a big bag?
I don't think they made any secret about wanting to have Clark as part of Unrivaled. It's a good look for them. It may help her. I'm excited to see Unrivaled get started. Last few players to join. I'm looking for guards. I'm looking for maybe some bigs. I don't know. I thought that it was gonna be more rookies coming. So I thought maybe Peely would have been one. I think Courtney Williams joined. It's hard to say. It's hard to say with these last few because they're not the ones that I was expecting. Like Kennedy, I thought Kennedy was coming. So some of the players that I wanted to see won't be there. So for me,
I love Kennedy game, but sometimes Cray Cray is unpredictable. You know what I mean? Sometimes, so you don't know which Cray Cray you gonna get. You know if you gonna get the competitive Cray Cray or. I had a moment cray, but I love her game. She knows the game. She knows how to play the game. She has a high IQ. Sometimes for her, I think a player like her, the time away from the league might be more healthy, beneficial. If a player, overseas.
My thing with Kennedy is I think people bullshit Kennedy. And I think people see Kennedy's game and then people are like, yeah, we want her game. And then they're like, yeah, we're going to give you the support you need, and not realizing that mental health is wealth, right?
Right.
So whatever what her support looks like is probably not what you're thinking when you say you're going to take that on.
Right.
So
gotcha.
More than Kennedy not being who she is, you're not able to give the support that you said. And so my thing is, who is that coach? Teaspoon looked like she was willing to and equipped to be the type of coach that Kennedy needs. It's more people in the league that got mental health issues. The stuff that
right.
Kennedy's passion to me is what has her up and down. If it's your passion that has you up and down, I can deal with that better than I can deal with a bad attitude of you wanting to be the star or you wanting to have the ball. So for me, it's just getting the right support around Kennedy. Kennedy can play anywhere, and I think as long as you're honest with Kennedy, they should be honest back with you. And I don't feel like, in the way things are shaking out in Chicago, I think that they bullshitted Kennedy a lot. I can see that the way that the Chicago ownership looks now, they kind of tried to play like they were transparent, but they weren't. They played in Teaspoon's face, they played in Angel's face, they played in Camilla's face, and they played in Kennedy's face. And I think Kennedy was ready more to call them on it, and maybe not in the most professional way that people. Kennedy went for no games. You're not gonna play in her face, and I think At the end of the day, that's what happened. I don't know that Kennedy even comes back from China. I think Kennedy is really happy in China. So
you said, do we think Court Williams will stay in Minnesota?
I wouldn't. Not after you threw me under the bus and set up at the table and about it.
I think that was really
that was lame. That was lame. It showed a lack of professionalism.
I thought that was selfish. Really,
it was. I was really disappointed that they decided to go out that way. I was really disappointed that they took it out that way.
Yeah. So we got one more. I see the Mystics clean house today by firing GM and coach. Which coach will be next to be fired, and who do you see coaching Washington?
I don't know who coaches. I don't know who coaches Washington next, y'all. I don't know.
I feel like if they want to coach, I feel like you got to look at the top 4 teams that played in the semifinals and the finals. If they have some top assistants that are ready, I definitely would look at assistant coaches coming from that top 4 teams this past season and go from there. I mean, definitely they got a great assistant, the Valks in Natalie Nakasi, first Asian American head coach, and she coming from a championship, and she coached at the Clippers as well. So, and she's from the area. So, my thing is, I think you have some younger or more willing and more energetic assistant coaches that need to be considered that are in the league. It's so you don't get into this pattern of recycling these coaches that don't know how to relate to kids. They don't know how to relate to players, connect to their players. Like you said, it's a relational generation.
Yep. And so those coaches that can relate will find success. So we'll stay tuned.
Marcus said Kennedy probably cussed him. He's like on the phone, bleep, bleep. Yeah, cussed him out, bruh. Out. Straight out. Okay, here we go. One more trivia. We're out of here because we know you gotta get ready for Daddy Long.
Gotta get ready for Daddy Long, Dom. One more trivia. What you got?
Okay. And you should know this player. You may not know it in this question, but you should remember this player. Which WNBA player was the first to be named All-American in both volleyball and basketball in college?
No idea, Coach. You got me with that one.
You know his name. You're going to know this name.
I don't do too much volleyball.
She was All-American volleyball and basketball in college.
Yeah, you got me on that one. Y'all give me the answer in the chat. What y'all got?
Anybody know a WNBA player that was All-American volleyball and basketball player without Googling that ish? All right. I will put it in the chat.
I don't know. You got me on that one.
I'm putting it in the chat.
You said Asia? High vibrations?
Close.
Candace Williams?
No. Anybody else got a guess before I posted in the chat? Anybody?
Yeah, what you got, Coach? Who you got? Who was it? Natalie Williams. All right.
Played at Texas. Look, without you, there's no us. Okay? We are so grateful that the CC show today, be sure to show someone some kindness so they can pass it on to the next person, and we change this world one kind act at a time. Be great in your preparation, become excellent in your performance, champion mentality.
Yeah, I apologize for the craziness of the show. Back next week, back on Friday with the T, but back next week, set and ready to go on time. We working this Wednesday thing out. I appreciate y'all working with me. I love y'all to life. Until next time, y'all stay tuned. Talk soon. We out.